Hello, welcome. Oh, that's great, that's great. You all are very enthusiastic. That tells me that the nice breakfast had plenty of coffee, plenty of whatever to get you charged up. I really hope you all are prepared. Welcome to Fort Worth. We're in the Will Rogers Memorial Center. You're in the Roundup Room. And this is the first ever JH DevCon. So thank you all for coming here. Yeah, I was kind of joking with some people at breakfast. I said, hey, is this your first time here? Kind of leading them along of like, they shouldn't say, oh, I've been here every year. Like, how many years though? How many years have you been here? Because this is the first one. We're really excited, hoping to fill you all with a bunch of interesting knowledge, right? So if you haven't figured out so far, we have credit unions in the house. Where are my credit unions? A little clap or say, well, fantastic. We've got our banks here. Banks, y'all want to say hello? Okay. And what about our fintechs, vendors, consultants, basically not an FI? There we go. Okay, so we've got a sense of the crowd here. If I'm not mistaken, I think we have registered 208 of you all out here, so glad to see that, glad to see so many faces, a lot of faces that I've seen before, so glad to see you again. A little bit of sort of, basics. So you all, if you got here early enough, registration was right out the door. The emergency exits or the door you probably just came through, there's an emergency exit over in that corner as well. Bathrooms, you go out the exit, it's right across the hall. There's a secondary set as well. And for all the meals, so breakfast, lunch, and the after hours happy hour celebration, go out and it's the next room over for all of that. So a little bit of layout of how things are gonna go. Here's the set of speakers. You can go to jackhenry.dev, tap on the little ad that says JH DevCon, or go directly to jackhenry.dev/developer-conference. The agenda's there. Just click the little down arrow on your mobile device to find the schedule. And this is what you'll see. So our opening keynote is going to be held by Lee Wetherington, setting the stage for like, yes, we've got all this really cool technology we want to talk about, but why does it matter? Pro tip, it's all about the account holders at the end of the day, right? So be excited for that. We've also got coming up as Mackenzie Kaiser, or Mac, as many of you all know. He is gonna cover building with the Jack Henry platform. This is gonna give you the overall lay of the land. If this was Disney World, this is the map that tells you, here's Magic Kingdom, here's MGM Studios, here's the Animal Kingdom and Epcot Center, and et cetera. Like, where is Jack Henry going with this stuff? How is this all fitting together? What is all part of our tech modernization strategy? Right at 10:15, you'll have Brad Minton covering our data broker products. Every single one of you, fintechs, banks, credit unions, vendors, consultants, whatever, every single one of you has been asking us about data. And if you haven't, data's where it's at. That's one of the key things that I think everybody's gonna wanna pay special attention to, because data broker is the way that you're gonna get a lot of the data that you all have been seeking out of the Jack Henry cores, as well as the complementary products. We'll have a little bit of a break, so if you need it, like, certainly if you need to use the bathroom, like, bathroom's right out there. But if you wanted an excuse to take a little coffee break, use the bathroom, make a quick phone call, do a quick couple of emails, commit some code if something's going on in your neighborhood, that's 10:45 to 11. We're planning a 15-minute morning break. We'll have Daniel covering the SIM exchange side. So for those of you who want to connect to Jack Henry's Scimitar core for credit unions, Daniel will be covering that. Right afterwards will be Mike Gaines covering JExchange, so for the Jack Henry banking cores and more will be covered in that session. Then we'll have lunch. We're planning to have 12 to 1:30 lunch, a little bit longer, give you all some time to breathe, relax, recharge, get some food in your bellies. If you need to run out, run an errand, again, make a phone call, or just hopefully have a lot of really great conversations with each other, connect with folks. I'm not currently wearing my badge because we got a microphone on, but the white lanyard, if you haven't figured it out, white lanyard is Jack Henry employees. So if you see somebody, go say hello, ask them what they're up to, what they've been working on, and if you have questions about stuff. Right after lunch, we'll have Sergio Aguilar covering payments, because payments is pretty foundational to everything that people are doing nowadays, especially when it comes to this modern digital focused era. After that would be Alex Fluhoff covering enterprise event systems. So for those of you who've been wondering, like, hey, how do I know when this thing has occurred? What's going to happen, when? It's like, well, enterprise event system will tell you when things like, hey, this new user has enrolled in digital banking, this particular change has been made. Paired up pretty nicely with that is Brad Minton talking again, but this time about enterprise workflow. So if you want to automate the back office and make sure you don't have people in the loop necessarily for things that don't require a person, you want the machine to take the stage there, and allow the human being to do what human beings do best, and that's relate to each other, especially with these customer or member relationships. Then we'll have another break. We'll have an afternoon break. We're planning 3 to 3:15. Again, same thing. If you use the restroom, you need to make a phone call, you just want to take a little breather and relax for a little bit in a nice little quiet area, there's your time. After the break in the afternoon, I will be giving a presentation on the Banno Digital Toolkit. If you're not familiar with the Banno Digital Banking Platform, we have a way to make custom UI widgets. So I will be talking about designing and developing plugins, which is our name for those UI widgets. Then we will have a audience Q&A. So just so you know, not every speaker, and in fact, I'd be surprised if more than 1 or 2 speakers have time for Q&A during their sessions. These are very tight 30-minute sessions, so like we're just gonna really be hammering through the content as fast as we can. So please hold your questions until the end. If they have a little bit of time, we might be able to take 1 or 2 questions during a session. Otherwise, save it for that afternoon. We'll get the speakers back up here and try to answer your questions. Particularly because some of these questions you might ask aren't necessarily for that speaker. It might be like, oh, while that speaker was saying something, I had a question about that tech. It's like, well, actually, that's a question about this other tech. And then our closing keynote will be our Chief Digital and Technology Officer, Mr. Ben Metz. I'm sure many of you all have heard of, and if you haven't, this is your first opportunity to learn how Ben rolls. We'll have a little bit of end of conference announcements and wrap up, and then immediately after that, we'll go into the other room out the door and over to the left for the happy hour and closing hors d'oeuvres and beverages of some sort. Okay, everybody good there? Everybody feel situated? Your wonderful swag cup, if you have that. If you somehow don't know how to get to jackhenry.dev in your browser, jackhenry.dev, we have a nifty little QR code on the back of that cup. You just scan that with your phone, and you should be good. We tested it. I was very worried, especially after that whole Wicked movie and Barbie thing came out. I said, oh God, please don't let that happen to us. All right. I think you all are good. Things are all quiet here. We're running a little bit early on time, so I'm gonna tell you a little bit why. And I don't normally do this, but I think this is a small enough set of folks. We are recording. I don't know if this part will go on there. Sometimes people ask me, why is it that you work at Jack Henry? So for folks who don't know, I've been here at Jack Henry for a little over 5 years now. I crossed 5 years in September. And I used to work at a neobank, challenger bank. It technically wasn't a bank, called Simple. So if people don't remember Simple, it was one of the earliest digital-only banking products and services that you could sign up for. Based out of Portland, Oregon. I'm in the Seattle area. It was kind of a natural thing. And I really loved the mission that Simple had. So spoilers, if you go into the app store, like, where's Simple? It's like, Simple got shut down. We can talk more about that during the breaks if you'd like. But one of the things I loved about Simple is that it was born out of sheer frustration with the US financial technology system. It's like, how silly is it that, for every single one of you here in the room, it would be far easier for me to send you a 5 gigabyte funny cat dance video than it would be to send you one single US dollar. And be, oh, okay, do you have Apple Cash? Do you have Venmo? Do you have PayPal? Do you have Zelle? Do you have this? Do you have that? They just pull out actual physical cash or have it help me write you a check. And at Simple, I felt like the mission was really right there for modernizing the tech, democratizing the tech that people really need to maintain and handle their financial lives. And really, it was, as far as I could tell, I was not there at the earliest days of Simple, but I sort of really got the vibe. It was built out of that. What if caring about the account holder was like the innovative thing you could do? And at some point, I realized, I'm trying to do good work at that company, but it just wasn't hitting the market the right way. It wasn't hitting all of the right points. And as I was open to looking around, I ended up discovering Jack Henry, which I'll be honest, before I saw the job opening, I didn't have a clue who Jack Henry was. Why? Because if you go out there in the market, it's not Jack Henry's brand, right? It's the institution's brand. It's somebody like a incredible bank. It's somebody like a Georgia United Credit Union. It's an incredible bank. It's Omni Community Credit Union. I apologize if I didn't mention your institution. Those are just some of the ones that came to mind right now. And Jack Henry is just like quietly one of the best held secrets that we probably have in the industry. It's not our brand. It is the bank or credit union's brand. And when I started talking to the folks at Jack Henry and trying to understand, what is it that they're all doing here? Okay, it's kind of like what Simple is doing. It's in that same model. I realized, although it's not exactly the same mission that we had over at Simple, it's directionally aligned. And that direction is wanting to make life better for the financial institutions, the community banks and credit unions, and the account holders. So to wrap things up, the way that I describe, much more concisely than I did just right now, buying a little bit of time backstage, why is it that I have been excited to work for Jack Henry for the past 5 years? What gets me up in the morning? I'll tell you what gets me up in the morning. I think that we can do better in the US financial technology system. And I'm really excited about getting out here to work with you all to try to make that a reality where as long as we can continue to focus on the people who shop on Main Street, the people who struggle to put good food on the table for their friends and family, and do that in a way that everybody feels really great about, that's why I come to work. That's what I do, why I do what I do in developer relations. I hope that's pretty closely aligned to why you all have your institution or why your fintech exists, to try to make people's lives better, particularly here in the United States of America. So, with that, thank you so much. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. So